The delay over the repatriation of 10 dead bodies of Nepali students is likely to be resolved soon. The Nepalese embassy in Israel late yesterday received 5 of these bodies, as the Israeli authorities have assured of handing over the 5 other bodies at the earliest. Meanwhile, the authorities in Israel and the Nepalese embassy there are still clueless regarding the whereabouts of the missing Nepali student Bipin Joshi, who has been described as a hero for saving the lives of his friends by some of the Nepali students who were evacuated on the Thursday night chartered flight. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Bodies of 5 Nepali students killed in the Israel-Hamas warfare handed to Nepalese embassy in Israel. Process underway to retrieve 5 other bodies. On the second day of the Dasai festival, Bhagwati Brahmacharini being worshipped. Throng of devotees seen in Durga temples, exodus of Dasai revelers from Kathmandu Valley witnessed. UN says fuel reserve in Gaza hospitals likely to run out in the next 24 hours, putting at risk lives of thousands of patients. Iran warns of regional conflict if Gaza ground offensive launched. And Afghanistan stunned defending champions England in what is seen as the first upset of the World Cup 2023. Sri Lanka gear up to take on Australia. The Nepalese embassy in Tel Aviv has said that 5 out of the 10 bodies of Nepali students killed in Israel have been received. Issuing a press release, the embassy has said that the remaining bodies will also be retrieved soon. Bodies of Narayan Prasad Neupane, Lokendra Singh Dhami, Ganesh Kumar Nepali, Dipesh Raj Bista and Ashish Chaudhary have been received by the embassy so far. The embassy has maintained that efforts are underway to send the bodies to Nepal immediately and for the search of Nepali student Bipin Joshi, who had gone missing since the attack by Hamas militants. Out of 4 Nepali nationals who had been injured, 1 has already returned home, 1 is under the care of the embassy and 2 are being treated at the hospital. Kantipur television correspondent Hom Karki informed that Himanchal Katel of Gorkha, who is under the care of the embassy, must seek continuous treatment at hospital for at least 2 months. The other injured, Pravin DC and Bidhan Sejwal, are being treated at Jerusalem's Saire Jedek Hospital. The Nepalese embassy in Israel has informed that 61 Nepali nationals have expressed their willingness to return to Nepal at the earliest. The government has said that it will bear the expenses of those who wish to return to Nepal. The embassy has informed that it will evacuate the Nepali nationals who have registered their application based on priority and risk. Nepalese ambassador to Israel, Kanta Rijal, said that it was easier to send the students during the first stage of the rescue as they were from the same region. Ambassador Rijal informed that it will be a bit difficult in the second stage rescue effort as Nepali nationals are scattered, but efforts are being made to gather them in one place and repatriate them. Speaking to Kantipur representatives who reached the Nepalese embassy in Israel, Ambassador Rijal informed that coordination will be made with commercial airlines to send Nepali nationals back home. A week after Hamas militants launched a deadly attack on Israel, the war continues to escalate in border region between Gaza and Israel. Nepal has been directly impacted by the war as 10 of our students were killed in the Hamas attack, while 1 student is still reported missing. The Israeli main city of Tel Aviv is completely quiet, even as people are gripped by fear of war. There is very few traffic plying in the streets. Hema Limbu, who hails from Jhapa, has reached Tel Aviv in the year 2012. The region where Hema resides is restive and hasn't reported of any attacks. There is a bunker adjacent to her room. The family members, shaken by the news filtering in from Israel, have continuously requested her to return to Nepal. However, Hema understands that the situation in Tel Aviv is normal, even as she feels that she had never experienced the kind of ongoing warfare. The old buildings in Israel have bunkers underground, while new buildings have bunker provision on higher floors as well. It is quite normal in Tel Aviv to hide in bunkers once the sirens blare out. Lalitpur Bhaise Party's Arun Lama has also been in Israel for the past 10 years. He has no idea how long the war can last, and even as the family members have requested him to return, he is currently on a wait-and-watch mindset. The Nepalese embassy in Tel Aviv has urged the Nepali community living nearby the Gaza region to exercise caution and remain vigilant. Goddess Brahmacharini is being worshipped on the second day of the biggest Hindu festival of Vijaya Dashami that kicked off from yesterday. As per the Hindu Vedic tradition, 9 different representations of Goddess Durga are worshipped during the Dasai. Deity Brahmacharini symbolizes knowledge and purity. It is believed that worshipping Brahmacharini will inculcate virtues such as penance, renunciation and restraint. On the second day of Dasai festival today, devotees have thronged the Durga temples. Devotees have flocked the temple of Guheshwari, Maiti Devi, Dakshin Kali, Kalikastan, Shova Bhagwati, Taleju Bhavani, Bhadrakali, among other Durga temples in Kathmandu. Likewise, devotees offer special prayers at the temple of Tharan's Dantakali, Bhojpur's Siddhakali, Taplejung's Pathivara, Gorkha's Manakamana, among other Durga temples. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what their preparations are for the Dasai festival. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
8 वर्ष भयो दशैं नमनाएको पनि घर बुवा मम्मीहरुसँग टिका लगाएर इन्जय गर्ने मन छ
देवी दुर्गा माताको प्रार्थना गर्ने
रमाइलो गर्ने बोका खोज्ने
छोराछोरीहरु आउँछन् टिका लगाइदियो हैन रमाइलो गरो
दशैंमा यस्तै हो साथीभाइसँग इष्टमित्रसँग भेटघाट गर्ने रमाइलो गर्ने
मन्दिर जाने घुम्ने ठुलोबडाको आशीष दिने दिदीबहिनीको जाने टिका लाउने
दशैं मेरो स्पेशली घुमेर मनाउने टार्गेट छ
आफन्तहरुसँग साथीभाइसँग भेटघाट गर्ने खानपिन गर्ने
खेलकुदका आयोजना विभिन्न किसिमका आयोजनाहरू गराई साथीभाइहरुसँग जमघट गराएर चाहिँ दशैं मनाउने चाहिँ योजना हामीले बनाएका छौं
रमाइलो गर्ने अनि घुमघाम गर्न जाने
जमराहरू लगाएर आशीर्वाद लिएर
घर जाने रमाइलो गर्ने साथीभाइहरुसँग घुमफिर गर्ने बुवाआमासँग घरमा बस्ने
नवदुर्गा भवानीको पूजा पाठ गर्ने अनि आफन्तहरुसँग भेटघाट गर्ने रमाइलो गर्ने मिठो मसिनो खाने
31 जनाको परिवार भएको मान्छे हो घरको माउ म आफै हो बुढाकेटी आए पनि रमाउने हाँस्ने खानी
गाउँ जाने छोरा बुहारी नाति नातिना भेट्ने है बोका काट्ने मासु खाने मासु भात
छोराछोरी बाहिर छन् अब छोराछोरी नहुँदा नरमाइलो त यसै स्वाभाविकै हो अब त्यसै किनमेल गर्ने मन्दिर जाने
अलि राम्रै कपडा लाउन पर्छ र धेरै रमाइलो गर्नु पर्छ बाचुन्जेलको रमाइलो हो बाबु मरेपछि केही पाइदैन
The police checkpost at Subakuna of Surkhet has seized 50 sacks of sugar that was being taken to Dailek by evading customs. Police have recovered the illegally brought sugar while inspecting a truck that was headed towards Dailek. According to the spokesperson of Surkhet Police Administration and Superintendent of Police, Lakshman Bahadur Shahi, the truck has also been seized and investigation on the incident is underway. At a time when the Department of Customs has introduced a policy of imposing customs on goods worth more than 100 rupees that are brought from India, it has been revealed that sugar is being smuggled into Nepal with the help of officers of the Home Administration and Customs Department. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to safeguard mother language? Your options are A, clear policy, B, concern of stakeholders, and C, all should respect language. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. The UN has been warning that the lives of thousands of patients will be at risk if fuel reserves at all of Gaza's hospitals run out in the next 24 hours, as is expected. Conditions of people in Gaza are worsening with water, food, power and medicines in scarce supply. Israeli troops continue to amass near Gaza ahead of an expected ground offensive targeting Hamas militants. Israel has told 1.1 million Palestinians living in the north of Gaza to move south. Hundreds of thousands have done so, doubling the population of the southern city of Khan Yunis overnight. What they found was a city on its knees, ill-prepared for its population to literally double overnight. Hamas say 400,000 of the 1.1 million people who call northern Gaza home headed south down the Salah al-Din road in the last 48 hours following Israel's order to leave. The UN says the Middle East is on the verge of the abyss and has asked Israel to let humanitarian aid in. More than 1,400 people were killed in Israel last weekend when Hamas fighters crossed the border to attack civilians and soldiers. Meanwhile, Iran has warned of regional conflict if Gaza ground offensive is launched by Israel. The Israeli military said it has conducted strikes in Lebanon today in retaliation to Hezbollah's attacks on Israeli army posts and a northern border village. Earlier, UN peacekeepers warned border clashes were escalating. A video distributed by Israeli army said to show attacks on Hezbollah sites in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah's attacks on Shitula, a farming community that abuts the border fence, killed one person and wounded 3 others, the militant group and Israeli medics said, as the worst border violence since a month-long war in 2006 entered its second week. The Israeli military said it had conducted strikes in Lebanon in retaliation and it declared a zone within 4 kilometers of the Lebanese border off limits to public access. Families of Israelis taken hostage or killed during the Hamas attack met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. The families called on Netanyahu to ensure their release. Israel is carrying out the most intense bombardment Gaza has ever seen in response to the killing of 1,400 people when Hamas fighters rampaged through Israeli towns on 7th of October. They shot men, women, children and soldiers and seized hostages in the worst attacks on civilians in Israel's history. Authorities in Gaza said that at least 2,670 people had so far been killed by Israel's retaliatory strikes, a quarter of them children. Businessman Daniel Noboa is Ecuador's next president, declaring victory yesterday as the country's National Electoral Council said results pointed to an irreversible outcome and his rival conceded. Noboa was tallying more than 52% of the vote, while his leftist adversary Luisa Gonzalez had about 48%, with more than 90% of ballot boxes counted. 35-year-old Noboa, a surprise qualifier for the runoff in the early election, has pledged to improve the economy and create jobs for young people, as well as to house dangerous criminals on prison ships. Noboa will face the significant challenge of righting an economy which has struggled since the coronavirus pandemic and motivated many thousands of Ecuadorians to migrate, and sharply rising crime, including increases in murders, robberies and prison riots. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Bodies of 5 Nepali students killed in the Israel-Hamas warfare handed to Nepalese embassy in Israel. Process underway to retrieve 5 other bodies. On the second day of Dasai festival, Bhagwati Brahmacharini being worshipped. Throng of devotees seen in Durga temples. Exodus of Dasai revelers from Kathmandu Valley witnessed. UN says fuel reserve in Gaza hospitals likely to run out in the next 24 hours, putting at risk lives of thousands of patients. Iran warns of regional conflict if Gaza ground offensive launched. And Afghanistan stunned defending champions England in what is seen as the first upset of the World Cup 2023. Sri Lanka gear up to take on Australia in today's match. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.